Hey there, let's jump right in and try to unravel a huge mystery that sits right at the heart of education. Why is it that even the most brilliant, well-thought-out plans to improve our schools just don't seem to work out?
I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? You see it all the time. Governments and experts, they roll out these incredible, ambitious roadmaps for the future of learning. But then, somewhere between the official document and the actual classroom, the magic just kind of fizzles out. So why does this keep happening?
Well, to really get to the bottom of the problem, we have to start with the promise. Because every single one of these plans, they all begin with this really inspiring vision for what a modern education could be. A truly better way for our kids to learn.
And look, these aren't just empty buzzwords, these are the fundamental goals. The whole point is to make this big shift away from just rote memorization and towards preparing students for the real, messy complexities of the modern world and, the jobs of the future.
Okay, so the goals are great, but this is where we run smack into what I call the great plan problem. There's this massive, and honestly frustrating, gap between the plan on paper and the day-to-day reality inside a school. This analogy just nails it. A new curriculum is like a perfect architectural blueprint. It's clear, it's orderly, it's ideal. But a piece of paper can't build a house by itself, right? You need skilled builders, and in our case, that's our teachers, to take that plan and make it work in the real world with all its complexities.
And here's the bottom line, plain and simple. You can have the most incredible, game-changing plan in the world, but if the people who actually have to do the work aren't prepared and equipped for it, the whole project is pretty much doomed from the start. This brings us to the most important question of all. What's the missing piece? What is that secret ingredient that actually connects the perfect blueprint to the finished building?
And here it is. The answer to our whole mystery, the key that really unlocks everything, is this concept called teacher capacity. So let's break down what that actually means.
Now, the concept is simple, but it is so powerful. Teacher capacity is basically everything a teacher needs, all the knowledge, the skills, the confidence, to take that paper blueprint and build something incredible with it in their classroom day in and day out. And we're not just talking about one thing here. It's a complete professional toolkit. It means, knowing your subject inside and out, but just as importantly, knowing how to teach it in modern, engaging ways that are actually going to hit those big 21st century learning goals.
And this is crucial. Capacity isn't something teachers are just born with. It has to be built, intentionally, piece by piece, through things like hands-on training, real mentorship, and learning communities where they can work with their peers. It's all about practical support, not just theory.
Okay, so this all makes sense in theory, but what does it look like in the real world? To really ground these ideas, let's dive into a fascinating case study, Indonesia's super ambitious curriculum reform.
Now, Indonesia has been on this journey for a long time. This is not their first rodeo. They've tried to modernize several times over the decades, and each time they aim to improve learning. But each time, they kind of hit the same wall, that tricky challenge of implementation.
So their latest effort is called Kurikulum Merdeka, which translates beautifully to the freedom curriculum. I mean, how cool is that? The name itself tells you so much about the goal, to empower both the teachers and the students. And the principles are really forward-thinking. It's all about being flexible, focusing on projects that connect to the real world, and giving teachers and schools more autonomy to do what works. This is a huge step away from that rigid one-size-fits-all model of the past.
But, and you knew a but was coming, right? Here's the kicker. Even with an inspiring name and all these great ideas, the success of the Freedom Curriculum still comes down to that one thing we've been talking about. Do teachers actually have the capacity and the support to pull it off?
So this brings us to the final takeaway. After looking at the promise, the problem, and this amazing real-world example, what is the one lesson that we absolutely have to remember?
Here it is. A new curriculum isn't the finish line. It's the starting gun. Real, lasting change in education doesn't come from a fancy policy document. It comes from making a continuous, dedicated investment in the people who bring that policy to life in the classroom every single day.
And that's the thought I'll leave you with. Maybe we need to completely shift our focus. The next time you hear about a bold new plan for education, maybe the most critical question we can ask isn't, is the plan good? But instead, are our teachers prepared to make it great? Thanks for joining me on this one.